you, they see what your soul makes you look like, what your
Isn't that soul
natural
gazing?
self is. Hmm?
Isn't
No,
that
not
soul gazing?
exactly. This is more of a physical thing, what your magical aura presents you as. For example, a wolf wear would probably look like a wolf in their spirit form.
Okay, I
There is an example in one of the books, for instance, when he looks upon a friend of his, a police officer. She looks almost like a blazing Valkyrie, like a golden hair and a flaming sword, and just blazing eyes, like a goddess of justice. Like that's her true self, basically.
Taking what you are to the extreme, basically.
Like what you are at the very core.
when you look at Tia, you do see indeed a very, very golden shining wolf. She has a chain around his back paw. It is a chain made of silver, and it doesn't look like it's hurting or anything. It is very shiny chain.
Does the wolf look ferocious or
She looks
or like happy or?
she looks proud and not ferocious. Maybe a little nervous, but happy, skittish.
Okay.
Let's see. The thing that Felix would first of all see looking kind of at Martin or even in his direction would be the hint of a like absolutely massive power, like a stamp. Like a stamp saying, "This is mine. This is who I am. Don't mess with me. Don't mess with this. I own this." And that's probably almost overpowering the rest of the images Felix would get. Although there are the hints of, well, Martin being Martin, just kind of the human, the person, kind of shifting, twitching, and the next second there's Martin being all big. And yeah, the shifting and twitching, it's certainly a jarring sensation, even from the sight, to the point where it's really unsure if that's two images for the same thing, or two images for two things, or two things for one image. It's hard to tell.
So I almost imagine it as like, an incredible dark edifice, like just looming over him.
Two big red eyes looking at you, being like, "Hey,
Mm-hmm.
who do you think you are?"
I wouldn't call it inherently like dark. Looming, certainly. Powerful, most definitely. But it's sort of above morality, really.
Does it look like it's crushing him, or that he's fighting against it, or like?
Neither of those
Like
things,
he's
really.
just in the middle of it, unable to do anything.
Yeah. Although not really trying to do anything against it either.
It would be a completely hopeless fight.
Yeah, I was waiting for everyone else to finish.
Like a star in the blackness
no,
of
it's-
space.
It's just Tia who has a question.
Ah,
But you can answer when you can.
yeah. If Sheep's done.
I'm done, yeah.
Bjorn looks pretty much like just a bear, but instead of his usual non-scarred self, or very lightly scarred, he's covered in scars, open cuts, as if he was been through a war and back. One eye glazed over, shadowy, like it's part of him is almost dead, and but he still somehow manages to have a smile on his face, and
Is
that's
the
pretty much it.
bear aspect visible?
That's the bear. He's mainly a bear.
Okay.
That's what you see. Yeah.
Kadoom?
I just is Felix like turning around and just looking at all of us with his sight?
That's up to you. If you want Felix to notice you or look at you with his sight, then this is a chance for you to describe that. Otherwise, he wouldn't be looking at in your direction during the stuff he does here.
I mean, I can describe it. I was just wondering, like, how would my character feel about being sighted like that because he also has the sight?
Yeah, it's something that happens. Like
But it's not like
not really
intrusive.
that big a deal. Yeah.
Okay, I thought it would be like
It's a
more.
wizard's tool. Wizards generally see each other with it because they use it for stuff like fighting ghosts and such.
Okay, well, and Felix looks at Shin. Basically, gets the image in his head of a long blade, and the back of the blade is all bent and has cracks in it, and it's indented and it's in really, really bad shape. But the edge of the blade is extremely sharp. It's like if you focus your gaze on the edge part of the blade, it almost feels like it would cut him, even though he wouldn't touch it, even if he did not touch it. That's it.
Sure.
All right. Felix will shudder as he closes his sight. And he will look fairly tired as he walks over to us and say, "It should work now." Yeah. I guess he won't close his sight quite yet. He'll take another photo and rip it and see if the spirit actually goes inside.
It does sort of fly out of the photo chaotically, but zooms into it though.
Okay. He nods. Yeah, should be done. Ripping these would put the spirits back in. And then he will close the sight and look like a huge weight sort of, has been settled on his shoulders. He looks at the others. Maybe he looks a bit sad, looking at some of them.
So, I take it our dear aspect mother children belly slicer will not come back for us then?
I don't know. Her hatred might be so strong that she still hunts for us. But with this fixed, and if we do it here, then we have solved the problem that made her come here, and we fixed it. It might placate her enough.
Maybe. Although I'm not one to suggest suicide missions too often, perhaps we could lure her here and show her what we're doing? Just to be absolutely sure she's going to go?
Felix looks at Martin. Last we saw her, though, she was all anger and fury. I don't think she can be talked to easily.
I mean, I'll take that as a challenge, you know that.
Can we at least release the spirits first?
Seeing that you used your sight here, you would also have noticed that this place could be used as a portal to the Never Never. If you were to wish to go to a place that has to do with the spirits of infants in the Never Never, then
Not really, no.
maybe that's a place you could find a certain someone.
Maybe, sure, like, Felix will look at part well. It is close to the Never Never, and I would assume that the empathetic link between what's happened here and the Never Never would end you up in a place or a domain which is very closely linked to the death of children. She might be there, but I can't really tell you what type of realm that would be. She shudders. Nothing pleasant.
Would, by the way, Felix have been obvious with his when he looked at us?
It's more like he, as he walked around, did whatever he did around here.
Accidentally saw you.
He has probably
No,
accidentally glanced you.
You said he looked sad.
When he turns towards you and looks at some of you, yes, he will obviously look a bit sad.
Which
Imagine
ones?
the same with Bjorn, yeah?
Yes, Bjorn especially looks. He's like, man.
Why are you sad, Felix?
Jake said nothing. It's this whole story. It's a sad tale, is it not? As he begins ripping the different photos.
Are you lying?
Defend.
Well,
Are you lying?
Defend.
yes,
You are lying.
He's obviously troubled. Obviously troubled.
Now, how do you ask without implying that he's lying?
Felix, are you lying?
He glances over as he rips photos, and the spirits fly into the thing. No.
Okay, good.
Oh, Shin has said the ripping, so
You
doesn't
know,
really know what's going on socially here.
whispered in his ear a childish voice saying, "He's lying."
Who can hear that?
Martin whispered in his ear, "Lie, it's a lie. He told a lie."
Felix, we can.
Martin twitches slightly.
Bjorn will
Says,
say.
Yes, I just said it so he would.
Is he a bad man?
No, he lied to make me. I don't know why he lied, but it's impolite to ask too much. If he wants to keep secrets, then he can keep secrets. All right? And you,
Is it okay to lie if you have a secret?
if I, isn't it past your bedtime?
Can we see Martin conversing?
Or,
Yes.
or rather, is
The
it
voice
past your-
disappears.
No, hang on. Or rather, is it past your dead time?
Lifetime?
Like,
Oh,
I'm here all week.
But the voice disappears. And
Felix, I can hear dead children.
That's
What are they
perfectly
saying?
normal, I imagine. We're releasing quite a few of them.
What are they saying? I didn't hear anything.
They said that Felix was lying, and well,
Felix
of
is
course he
working
is.
kind of stiffly at the moment.
But I said okay because I didn't want to pry, but the children really hate you lying, Felix.
Think of the children.
Think of the children. Compel Bjorn. Think of the children.
Compel pillar of the community.
Mm.
Upstanding citizen.
yeah. But you could certainly swift over to the Never Never. I mean, Felix could open a way. You can do that. He's a wizard
Good.
council. So if
think
Martin
everyone-
wants to go and talk with things in the Never Never.
Can we not? Bjorn doesn't
I think
want to.
Listen, Felix, promise me that this is all we need to go, and I will not actively force you to put me into the Never Never so I can talk to that winter white mother, you know?
As he rips the, I don't know, Martin. All right, I really don't. This should put the children back to rest. It seems like it's working. They are going into the resting place. That should be enough. That should be the thing that draw draw her here. But I simply don't know. We would have to wait and see.
Do you know what my dad would do to me if the Wild Hunt decided to move into Berlin because there's no way to get rid of them anymore because they don't know that we fixed the problems they are mad about, you know? Would be bad for everyone involved.
Have you? He frowns, ripping the things. It's a place for dead children, Martin. In the Never Never. It is possibly one of the worst places in there.
Martin kind of licks his lips, holds his like hurting stomach. Well, you have a phone, right? Expect a phone call when I see the Wild Hunt again. Just so you know.
I can call when I smell a horse again. And dogs.
There are sometimes horses in Berlin, Tia.
Not at night, they can't see.
Not at night. All right. If you see a horse at night, call me.
Smell.
If you smell a horse at night, call me.
I will. I don't have your phone number.
Martin will produce a business card and hand it to you.
Martin Brunn Investments.
I don't have any pockets.
The good thing is you're all like still naked. So
The scale is of
Yeah.
opportunity.
No, we got dressed on the way here.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can.
we
Oh,
drove
okay.
here.
I-
We took
had-
a car here. We're not all naked, just
My
standing
clothes were in the
car. Yeah.
car.
And
Sure.
Martin and Bjorn have spares because they have the money too. So it's all good.
but like Martin's extra clothes for everyone. Yeah.
Bjorn carries a extra 2 sets. You never know when you need to change.
It's like the biggest expense.
Yeah, that and honey covered pizza.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Tomato sauce is out,
sardines.
honey's in.
Onion sardines.
Like other fish.
Yeah, that's probably good. True.
Well, I can open a way, or I can do it, but like I don't know what's on the other side.
The real question is, do you want to deal with this now and get rid of this whole problem out of this city, out of my city, out of your city? Or do we want to wait and see what happens?
Felix looks at the others.
Bjorn shakes his head like, I don't want to go into the Never Never.
I don't think I can do much against them.
I think it would
Goblins,
be-
sure, but if they have more spirit tigers, or that big thing that smells like winter.
I mean, how many wizards are there in the city that they could attack? Not too many, right?
Next to none.
Oh, well, let's think. They could kill exactly 2. That wouldn't be so bad, right?
I mean, killing White Council members generally brings the White Council around.
I was sarcasm, Bjorn.
Bjorn frowns. It's too late and I'm too tired.
So sound like it's either Martin going in alone,
Mm.
of course dragging Felix with him so he can come out again, or no one's going.
Those are the options, yeah.
I mean, do we even know if Bergta is in the Never Never, or is she around in the city?
Oh, certainly never. If anywhere right now, you'd probably know.
And she went back there.
I can open the way, Martin. You can talk to her, but if you can't convince her, we need to get out of there.
Bjorn is effectively useless.
Fairy is a dangerous place.
No, let's no. I mean, I would go in there, but you'd have to come with me, which no.
I would
See-
have to, yes, because you need a way in and out, and I can keep that open for you. But
What sort
No,
of
it's good.
oh, then Gordon.
what sort of magic is it to open the portal to Never Never? Could my character do it, or
You might be able to, yeah. It's
It's,
generally like thaumaturgy. But people with wizardling powers, I'd say, could potentially.
my
It is a specific way of thaumaturgy, I believe. It's transportation and world walking.
Yeah, mine is only specialized in warding, so he wouldn't be able
Alright.
to do it.
Sounds like a time to roll the credits then, as we see like the ripped photos, like number 400, as the sun is like rising, falling like on the grass in the pile now of just like ripped photos of empty rooms. Someone's gonna come around that and feel real creepy.
Yeah.
And the last words spoken as the credits fade out are, "Let's hope the Wild Hunt never comes back."
Surely the worst is behind us now.
It's rain.
Oh,
Let's get pizza.
Yeah, and you drive
Should
home.
we
see
should we
the credits. I imagine the credits we see there's little music and then like credits come up like who played who, and we see like Shin, he's like going back into the like theater to continue setting up like wardings and seals, and
Yes.
we see like Martin talking to people and being very frustrated with having to deal with bodies, and we see Felix now sitting there with paperwork having to file the case, and we see Bjorn and Tia just like playing with wolves in the zoo at night.
Felix being scolded by the stuck up.
We don't know what's being said, but we can imagine.
Yeah, he's like.
He's like raising his hand and like hitting the table and like being very agitated at him.
Yep, and Felix just rolling his eyes, frowning, and
Which doesn't help.
No, it doesn't. But and Shin, when he like going into the opera house, has like a huge thermos with tea with him. A cup.
Or like a kettle that he can like.
Yeah, exactly.
And one of those like that use in the wilderness, those things. That,
we maybe even like
stuff.
see the characters gathered at the opera house for the first opening of like Snow White opera.
Yay!
We see the musical with all the children being there and such, and then we like zoom out and see the ethereal like chains that are now wrapped around this place.
Well, not chains, more like those warding papers, those seals that you see in
And
like
like the
Chinese
ending
mythology.
song stops, and we get like that like post credits final like scene
Post-credit
cliffhanger
scene.
thing where we see like Wagner sit basically in a dark room looking into nothingness, as he just says like we only like see a shot of his mouth as he says this was not my last symphony.
Oh no!
Then
No! I have an idea. He says this while sitting on the remains of Martin's car, completely crushed on the junkyard. It's dark,
Yes.
a light rain. As he
looking at it.
before disappearing, slightly pets the car, disappears. The car shakes. The end.
What?
Might I also suggest an addendum to these credits? With the like somewhere in there perhaps a small procession of the heroes of the story, going back, maybe pay their respects a little bit at the shrine of the dead children.
Definitely.
we just see like
maybe a
the
talk.
back of someone walking away as there's like a flower wreath.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And maybe a talk between a few and Martin, and then suddenly a generous donation was made to maybe,
Polish it up again.
polish it up again. Go to some new flowers, a more, make it not so incredibly decrepit and forgotten.
We're all there at the opening.
Mm-hmm.
The last line is, dealing with hipsters is a pain.
Indeed.
Bring it all back.
Yeah, but by the way,
that was the scenario known as Cold Hunger for the Dresden Files RPG.
Tia will definitely bring a family pizza when she comes to visit the wolves.
And a smug Martin hands Felix a FedEx package with a T-shirt in it.
That is the end. Much. Where we will leave our heroes. Yeah. Thanks for playing.
Yay!
Thanks for hosting.
I think this counts as a finished scenario, which would mean that you would all get a skill point to put in your character.
One.
Woo! Skill
Yeah.
points.
And then you can basically do the same things as a small advanced spell, meaning you can switch two skills out with one another, or you can change, and you can change one aspect into being something new that your character got out of the story, basically character development.
I mean, I'm so tempted to get something Wagner.
Yeah, certainly could.
The last symphony of Wagner.
I hate operas.
Yeah. I'm curious also to hear what you think. It's the first one I ran. And, kind of hurried it up here at the end, but...
I liked it.
was an abrupt opening. I remember that.
I liked the opening especially. It was like the boring parts at the start would kind of just cut away. We were set into a scene like it had the TV show structure essentially. You are here, shit happens, and we skip the boring bits.
I like that.
I didn't think the car ride
Yeah,
was boring.
true.
I liked it. It's a good scene to get to know some characters.
No, I mean like before going to a place and finding nothing, for example.
Sure. Yeah, sure. I agree with that. No one wants to find nothing.
Dealing with the hipster.
If you have any
menace.
questions, I'll also answer them now because I'm gonna set the whole thing in the like all the people and such in the wiki now anyway. So
Sure.
Wiki.
yeah, if you're interested, so that you can use them when you make scenarios and such. You can play and have fun with all the big things. Yeah, there will be no more ravagings from the little winter lady there doing this because you did satisfy the need. If you had just done it without, if you released all the spirits without freeing them, then they would have got shit bad. But you found a way to make them go to rest. Thought about that. So yeah, you defeated
Double.
August relatively easily, I think. But and the thing with wizards, they're not very sturdy.
And they have a lot of firepower to throw out.
Certainly does.
We cannot have any skills above 4. Was that it?
Not above 5.
5.
So I can have a 5 in 1.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sick.
You have 2 skills of 5 now.
You could, yeah.
Well, so what do you think could be better? What do you think was done well? What could we learn from this experience of?
I'm not sure if it was on your part. I think it was more on our players' part that the investigations were a little bit like fumbling around. Maybe because we don't really know what we're doing yet too much.
Yeah, it's odd because we normally do like I want to look for this. Okay, roll your like perception. Oh, you find all of this stuff, but there's like especially for the wares in the party, we can sniff about for things or we could actively look around normally. Or we have so many options that we kind of, I don't know, I feel like it feels like we have too many tools to hold in a set number of hands, really.
Well, the way I've done it in the thing I ran initially in the small investigation part, I only gave you the stuff that you either specified you were looking for. Like, I want to look for a strange smelling piece of cloth. Do you find it? You roll. But you don't immediately find everything if you roll well. You just find the thing you're looking for. Or like in like Jonas's character, in Felix's thing, I only gave him the information he could have found from the area he specifically said he was investigating. I think it shouldn't be, I want to investigate this crime scene. It should be, I want to investigate the corpse lying in the corner. And then you roll for that. Like,
well,
having to be more specific.
I gave certain amounts of information rather easily because I don't think having not found it would make for an interesting story.
Yeah, that is another good argument.
Having good rolls and specific things can give you more detailed information about it, but
I think
certain things are sort of needed to be found in a way.
I think you kind of have to have some what do you call it? I don't even know if there's an English word for it, but you need some like Fingerspitzgefühl, right? You need to be like, all right, what exactly what mood are the players in? Like, how is it generally going? How much information do I need to give to sort of try to push this along in a decent pace? At one point, it could, because that's what I mean. Like, I don't think there's like a blanket solution to that. I think you sort of need to be like, all right, if the players seem to be into it, let them poke around, let them specify things, and you will build it from there. But if they are more like they don't know exactly what they're doing, or they seem tired, or maybe distracted, or maybe haven't gotten into it that much yet, you can be more generous to sort of spur it along.
Would you guys think it would have been more fun with less information given out? to you?
I think it was pretty good. The amount of information I think was pretty good. We kind of managed to, well, I at least managed to piece together like pretty much the entire thing near the end, which is exactly how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
It was basically we always had like only one lead to go on, and I was a bit worried if we at some point had like no leads to go by.
I tried to
But we always
connect most of the scenes, but when you visit like number 3 and you've already visited number 1 and 2, 2 of the leads are going to lead there, and that's kind of.
One particular thing I liked a lot was that we didn't feel the need or have to resort to divination magic at any point.
Yeah,
which I think is good.
I
think
tried
found
to
solutions
to connect things, though. Yeah.
Because magic can solve a lot of things, but it shouldn't be I don't think it should be like the first solution you immediately go to. If it's a problem that you're like, oh well, clearly I need magic for this, then of course. But like, there needs to be some sort of balance here.
Did you guys think the setting was well used? Did you feel like this was a Dresden Files story?
Yes.
I couldn't say.
I honestly couldn't tell you. I haven't read any of the books, so I haven't got a clue.
Yeah.
I mean, that first fight certainly left my character messed up enough to be considered a Dresden Files story.
Is that what usually happens?
Yeah, kind of.
Dresden gets kicked around a lot.
It's the place where he gets beat up, and you're like, well, that sells me absolutely nothing.
What did the audience think?
I have no idea.
We've got a small audience tonight because we didn't tell anybody per se.
Yeah.
So,
That's fine.
yeah, we'll
Most
wait
comments
until
need
people
be.
comments.
Yeah, I'm especially interested in
And
your
Reddit.
opinion, really, Sheep, because you've done this too, right?
I mean, yes and no. When I prepared my thing, I was essentially prepared it as vague as possible so I could potentially adapt to different things. And I tried, but I couldn't really come up with too many connections to the setting, like Berlin, which I think you've done pretty damn well. At least in the end, was like, oh well, everything is coming back to haunt us ever. Great, which was pretty good.
You can simply, I don't know, I kind of just went and looked at Grimm's fairy tales and then found one I liked and then hooked onto that and then looked on and I was like, oh yeah, and these things are basically hand fed to us because Mr. Butcher already has been using like those exact things for his own inspiration, so they fit in perfectly. If you look at like research the character of Berkta, you will find information that corresponds. Yes, of course she leads the Wild Hunt. That's an actual thing that happened that people believed in once, like a pagan belief, and of course that's connected. So basically, like mythology is just filled with these things. That I mean, did any of you know of this character before?
No.
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 Nope.
But it's there. It is in that sort of German area. Alpine paganism.
I think
So-
doing it that way it's definitely a good thing.
And that's something I really wanted in the setting. I think I was very open with that actually. have those connections to these sort of things. And of course she's like related to Krampus. I mean that makes sense, right? That's kind of funny. I think. I want to see the good form, by the way. You didn't get to see it in game, but yeah, there you go.
Yep.
All of the
I mean,
physical
good.
stress.
As good as a
Yeah.
winter fairy gets.
Yep. She looks certainly like a winter fairy.
Oh, I missed it.
You want to see it again? There you go.
Yeah, all in all, I had a lot of
yeah.
fun.
Yeah, I hope so. I had fun designing it as well. Things kind of just, I took a premise and then it kind of just spoon-fed itself. Like it all made sense.
That's always nice.
I kind of did
Yeah.
it the other way around, I suppose. It was like, I want to have something happen in, like a cool scene would be like a battle with a small bit of a wild hunt in like the streets at night. That'd be cool. Like, Another cool thing would be like visiting one of the underground, deep tunnels. Another thing would be maybe pick a few set pieces and then decide how to use them. Yeah, like the opera. That's a great set piece. It's one of our major locations, and using those I think is a good idea because they're iconic. And now we'll never forget the ghost of Wagner is an actual thing who matters because he's a very powerful ghost, and his domain is the opera where he's now been locked out from.
Yes.
Wagner going to do his quest.
Wagner 2, Revengeance.
Wagner 2, the fight of the Valkyries.
Wagner 2, Electric Boogaloo. He goes into disco dancing.
Remembrance or resurrection. Oh God.
Wagner 2, Music Storm.
Wagner 3, Resurrection. Goes back alive.
Yep. Wagner 4, Origins.
Wagner 5, Apocalypse.
Wagner 6, The Phantom Pain.
But he's made a lot of symphonies, and I hope someone knows the Flying Dutchman made opera by Wagner.
I saw it
and everything. Yeah,
I liked it. I liked the little. It made me feel very Darkest Dungeon, fighting that ship for some reason.
Okay.
A lot of ghost crew and stuff throwing themselves off the ship. I like that idea a lot.
I enjoyed that combat a lot, even though I've not really taken any offensive action whatsoever except swatting that one zombie once.
You swatted a chicken, right?
Yeah, that was the first combat. I mean the opera.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, you had an option to fight the 3 ghouls at another point.
Yeah.
Which could have ganged up on you, and they mostly have been fleeing. They're cowards when.
So was it the same 3 ghouls in the opera house?
Yeah.
Wasn't it the reverse?
Of course, it was the same 3 ghouls. Ghouls may be cheap to hire, but they're not cheap enough to hire like tons of them.
Ernie, Bernie, and Kenneth. Although Kenneth kind of took a vaporizing.
The fall. Yeah. Death Wizard didn't get to do his crazy death spells too much.
No,
Well, he did,
no.
but then he was re-rolled too.
So wait, who was it that hired the ghouls then?
Oh, it was him, yeah. Crazy Death Wizard. He was behind it all.
Okay. I thought it was like some dragon.
You want to know the plot? Yeah.
He was an emissary of a dragon, Martin.
Yeah.
So what was the point of that?
Vevel.
He asked
basically.
over dinner.
A
at some
great
point.
dragon.
I mean, he's
Apparently, the great dragon wanted the altar thing for some reason, so he sent a guy to get it. Right?
I don't like dragons robbing White Council.
I mean, you don't
He's
like
a freelancer, of course.
you don't like people working for the other dragon robbing White Council property, right?
Are you planning to rob White Council? Martin?
Don't read the newspaper tomorrow.
Why the dragon did it basically is undecided. Maybe it was because he wanted to test if the other dragon was going to interfere, if it was still there, or if there was a power vacuum. Maybe it was to want to do something with it or whatnot. We don't know. Some other game master can take that up if he wants. This guy was sent there. He was a decent talent. He was blind to magic, though. He couldn't actually use his eye. He couldn't really see it, which means he was working blind most of the time, just sort of raw powering through things.
Yeah, a lot of raw power, though.
Oh, yeah. You get more if you break the laws, as it turns out.
Oh, that's true. Certainly true.
So his discipline was low, but his conviction was high.
Mm-hmm. Well, he was pretty good generally, but it's the lawbreaker bonus.
It's all the necromancy.
Yeah.
Few
Lots of necromancy. Gonna go here. Gotta find spirits that nobody cares about. Well, there's a lot of them. Well, someone cared about them. Gotta find a plan B. Well, plan B is always gonna be Wagner.
Plan B is Wagner. That's an aspect for the city. Plan B is always Wagner.
City theme. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still kind of surprised how agile all the enemies were. They had like 5 and 6
Yeah, because they have
athletics. I was
speed.
like,
It was +2 to dodging.
I was like, what is going on? We're never going to be able
Yeah.
to hit these things.
Ghouls and zombies both have supernatural speed.
Yeah,
Yep.
my weapon skill is like 2. I'm not ever going to be able to fight
Undead
these
things
monsters.
are not slouching. They are supernatural. Supernatural things are goes fast. Not toughness though. So we kind of splattered easily. But
Yeah, but that doesn't matter if you can't hit them.
I am going to bed. Thanks for playing.
No,
See you,
Tina.
Tina.
Nice.
saving and shutting down this thing. So there we go.
So anyone volunteering for the next round?
Not right now.
I'm just kidding.
Let's see. Give people some time to figure out a cool idea. You can. I mean, it's not really something you can just make a thing, right, and then have it ready for